Welcome to a random video log. First, to go ahead and get this out of the way, ignore the bright light up here. It's later in the day than I would like it to be. Things came up and, well, the sun is higher in the sky, and someday I'm going to get actual curtains instead of relying on a sheet of cardboard. But as you can tell, the cardboard doesn't go up all the way. When I measured the cardboard, I vastly overestimated the amount of light that the little top curtains would block, and well, as you can see, they don't. Anyway, on to the point, or points, of the video log. One, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I really should do, well, I mean, I guess shouldn't force them, but I do them more often and when things happen, and when there are things to discuss, instead of waiting until they pile up and bury me. First, I realized that in the previous video log, I never actually went around to explaining the name Suladan Gaming. Well, I've got time, so I may as well go over the whole story, and if I get too rambly, mind any jump cuts of me, you know, skipping over nonsense. Well, most of what I do is nonsense, but you hold your tongue. Originally, the name for the channel was, and I may repeat a little bit, I don't remember exactly which pieces I've described in the past, but when I was in college, namely I was in software engineering class, I did not yet have a Google account. My professor was not fond of this fact and required me to make a Google account because he said A, it was more professional than using Hotmail for some reason, and B, he really wanted everybody to use Google Drive because we were doing a big semester project, and it was easier than, you know, using Dropbox or other file sharing things. We ended up using GitHub anyway, so it was not like the Google Drive was hugely impactful there. But as a sense of irony, I named the account Anonymous because, well, I didn't want to have an account with my name on it. He was not amused, but I kept the name anyway. Then the YouTube channel happened, and eventually I changed the name to Binary Gamer Fox, which again was a play on the fact that, you know, programmer, you know, binary, and then Fox Gaming Channel, 2+2. Well, when all was said and done, you know, the wreck happened, and eventually I decided that I needed a more legitimate name. For A, when people ask for your channel name, it's awkward to say something like, oh, Anonymous, or Binary Gamer Fox. It doesn't sound personal, it sounds more like a brand. So I asked around, I got ideas from some friends. I think I also mentioned it in the previous log about I was open to suggestions, and, well, aside from friends, I didn't get any suggestions, but, you know, me. Anyway, it ended up being Suladan. One of the other ideas was Anodan, but it turns out that's the name of a hemorrhoid cream, and I did not want to... That would be an awkward Google search. What's your YouTube channel? Oh, it's Anodan, Google. Why is your name that of a hemorrhoid cream? Do we need to have a talk? No. This is why you should always look up any name you're going to use before you use it, but Suladan, I know it's spelled with a T. It's a Cherokee word for fox. I have Cherokee heritage. It felt symbolic. You know, so Sula is fox and Dan is, well, self-explanatory. It's part of my name. I really should, you know, actually get around to, you know, using that name, or, you know, actually beginning my videos with that. So I may begin saying, you know, hello, welcome to Suladan Plays What's Not, but I'll work it out. In any case, now the name has been finally explained, and it will not, I'm sure nobody has lost sleep over that. Second, I mentioned in the previous video log that I had a VidMe channel. I should have mentioned this a while ago, but VidMe no longer exists. They went bye-bye, so, although there is still a link on the banner, it will take you to a page that says that VidMe is no longer there, and it will redirect you back to the YouTube. I should get around to removing that, but at the moment I'm tempted to leave it there and see how long it takes for the VidMe icon to vanish, because I assume at some point it's going to lose access to that image resource, much like if you make a shortcut on your computer and then delete the file that the shortcut points to, it'll lose the icon data, and it'll turn into that little miscellaneous default icon of broken shortcutness. But yeah. Also, I mentioned a while back that I was trying to get more hard drive storage space, and just for a note, The entirety of all my Let's Plays takes up 585 gigabytes at this point. I finally got a 4 terabyte hard drive though, so I have that backed up. So if anything goes pear-shaped, I have a backup. And if both if both the original and the backups fail, then, I don't know, we're calling it an act of God at that point. I need 10 hard drives, then if they all fail, we can really call it. But, someday I'm going to save up and get an actual proper RAID storage. I may as well recommend, if you ever need to keep, just a generic backup and you get tired of copying all the files, like if you're copying documents and you only want it to back up the ones that have changed, look up Desynchronize. It is a very nice program. It is what I tend to use. It has a setting on it to where it will only copy files that have changed since the last backup, so it checks the file modification timings against each other, and it's very helpful. And lastly, I know the games I've been playing right now have run a bit long. I'll be honest, I thought World of 1 was going to be a lot shorter. I'm pleasantly surprised by it. I'm loving the game so far, aside from a couple of mechanical quirks that still bother me, but every game is going to have some rough spots. That's, not a bad thing. Whichever game it finishes first, I'm going to be... Do you mind? I am doing... Wireless. Oh, great. One moment. That's a call I must answer. Sorry about that. That one was not a telemarketer, so I couldn't just pass it on. Well, meh. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. Whichever game ends next, I do plan on diving back into Game Jolt and getting some more random indie games because those are very amusing. I also do have some others in the queue. I've got a lot of games in the list of games I'd like to play. I usually try to avoid having too many long games running at once because like this, Dark Souls and everything has been holding the channel hostage for a while. I do... Anyway, let me get my mind back on track. It's like 5 different trains having a wreck all the time. Whichever one ends first, I do plan on diving back into some indie games like ENV or ENV. I've never agreed on how to pronounce that. I found out that game, that was one of the first 3 or 4 games I played, a little indie game that was incomplete. I found out last year that they made an update and there's a whole new level to it, and that's the next thing on my list. And then I'm going to dive into doing some Game Jolt stuff because there's some real gems in there, both in being very well designed and being so hilariously chaos that anyway, I am always open to suggestions. If there's a game you'd like me to look at, and assuming it doesn't cost $100, I mean, I'm on a budget and I don't make money off of this, so I'd like to make money off this. I would love to make a living at this, but I'm not that good at it. There are far more interesting people in the world to watch than me. But in any case, if there's a game you'd like me to look at, potentially play, etc., the comment section is always open. You can send me a message. Somebody told me I should make a Twitter account, but I don't have enough people that are interested in this to warrant that. If by some miracle I was to ever be that interesting, I would make one, I suppose. But, yes, I am open to suggestions in terms of games. If not, I have a list of games that I occasionally add to the Steam and things. Although I'd like to dive back into the indie games, like I mentioned before. But anyway, I am open to suggestions. This has been a very rambly log, and I will probably be doing a little bit of snipping here and there to jump cut it around and make sure it's coherent. But if you have listened to this far, I thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it if you watch and or hopefully enjoy my videos. Don't just watch them for my sake. I mean, I'm hoping they're enjoyable. I'm hoping to improve. I'm hoping to be more entertaining. But I appreciate it. I appreciate the script. Oh, that reminds me of a topic I needed to mention. I'll finish this thought first. I appreciate the subscriptions. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate all of it. And the constructive criticism. As always, open and constructive criticism, not basic criticism, but if somebody gives you a sandwich and you tell them the sandwich is garbage, you have not told them anything to improve. If you tell them there's too much tomato, you have told them something that they can take and improve on. Now, mind you that with food, each person has their own personal taste, so there's a little more ambiguous there, but point being, constructive criticism is great. Non-constructive criticism is It can be entertaining at best, but last topic, because I finally remembered this. I've gotten a lot of subscribers and views in a burst, and I know like literally 96% of my channel's views are off the two Scotsman's videos. Two Scotsmen. The two videos pertaining to the Scotsman, one of which got removed by YouTube but still had 15,000 views on it, and the other one is by itself like 92 to 93% of my channel's viewers. And I assume most of my subscribers came from there too. I appreciate you people as well. I hope you can find some other things here to amuse yourself with, but if not, you are welcome to watch the Scotsman. You're welcome to watch him all you want. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. And, like with anything else, suggestions, the suggestion box is open, so to speak. But, like I was getting to previously, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you on future games, or future logs, or future encounters. Bye.